This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast.
Hello, friends. This week is audio only. We're doing a camera transition. And why would I test it first before just, firing off, right? This podcast is focused on some of my self-limiting beliefs and the old patterns that I've learned through previous relationships that I am committed to breaking. We discuss what happened. We discuss how we came back to each other. We're getting off on a fucking tangent. Good morning.
Good morning.
It all gets cut out. Fuck it.
Who knows?
Baby, can we talk about kind of what we've been through? We've been through a hard couple of days. Mm-hmm. Can we talk about it?
I would love to.
Okay, so Sunday we're driving to the W, Walmart, and I'm calling it the W now.
Okay.
And I brought up the mortgage, which has been it's a tender subject, and you had an open-hearted conversation with me, saying, "Honey, I need more wiggle room with finances," meaning, I don't like saying it this way, I just need to right now not contribute to this. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And stop me.
And I was speaking even going ahead. We were talking about, are we still contributing on top of the mortgage? And for the first time in forever, maybe, I felt like in my body to have this conversation and was like, yeah, going forward, if it's okay, I'm really watching expenses here, here, and here. I'd love to bring this down, not contribute on top of the mortgage next month. We were having an open-hearted conversation about it.
Yes.
And that in entrepreneurship, being an entrepreneur is interesting. Because, so I founded the business in February 2022. So we just hit kind of like the 2-year mark. But the first year of any business is really just throwing spaghetti at a wall, seeing what sticks. I know this. Talk about an FFT. And you just have to see what happens. And then the second year is really the first year that you start to see your patterns of where there's an influx of clientele, where things peter out. Everybody has these ebbs and flows. You've shared with me about your business in the same way. You can't know till you're in there. And so I've just now understood more about where I need to tighten the belts and where there's more a greater expanse, more breath. And anyway, so I was trying to say these things that right now I'm in a really lean time. That is okay. And I am also fighting these things in the back of my head because I come from a world where my father specifically was not good with money and would get us into terrible debt and would make rash decisions. And it was either abundance or beyond scarcity, poverty. And it never really made sense to me from a child perspective. I couldn't see why. As far as I knew, he was gregarious and wonderful and so good with people and with money and building businesses. So I fight this little voice in my head sometimes that's look, you're just like your father. You'll never be successful. And so on the way to the W, I was sit with thyself, Lauren, sit with thyself, have this honest conversation. This is what I tried to share with you was, hey, I'm trying to be really good with finances right now. That feels like this. I'm trying to say, nope, this is good businessmanship. I even asked you, am I being delusional? Is this the wrong way of thinking of things? I told you about some narratives that I'm trying to give myself that are different narratives than what I saw. So anyway, I think I'm having this open conversation with you. That's what's going on in my head.
Which you are.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Which you did, and I applaud you for it. I applauded you for it.
Yeah, in the
moment, and then still now. Can I ask you a question? It was my therapist, because we were talking about this yesterday, and she asked me, Trey, what does money mean to you? And I answered. Then she goes, I'm going to encourage you to ask this to Lauren and then not give, I can't say Lauren, or Lauren. Her proper pronunciation is Lauren, are you going to go to the mall later? So whenever I actually say Lauren, it's the equivalent to a magic trick in Lauren's
My heart
mind.
beats faster.
Great.
Okay, so she said, I encourage you to talk to Lauren.
Yeah, I encourage you to talk to your wife. Ask her what does money mean to you, and then leave it at that, where there's not a conversation, there's not a how to fix, there's not a my opinion. I'd be happy to share what it means to me, but what does money mean to you?
I didn't think I was going to cry. I'm going to share what I think my body feels, and then I'll share what I know I dream. I think money means to me, you have worth. Okay. You are valuable to this society. You are valuable to your family. You're valuable to your clientele. You're valuable to the community, to the culture. And of course, then the inverse would be, if you don't, you're not worth anything.
Okay, thank you. Fuck. I didn't know that. Okay, fuck. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for asking. I want it, and I envision it, and I literally have vision boards of this and journal exercises of this, to be simply a commodity, simply a tool, yes, that connects to the beautiful, amazing work I get to do every day, that flows in abundance between my clients and me and those I choose to hire to do this, that is literally a measure of love, that is just kind of this like nurturance, like manure. This is a Hello Dolly line. She says, my late husband Ephraim used to say that money is like manure. It should be spread around, encouraging young things to grow. That is what I would like it to be, because I don't think it's everything. My work is so precious. Sorry. A client of mine just passed away, and I think I've always known just like how sacred this work I get to do, that I get paid to do, is. But if there was anything that reminded me that it's not only about the money, it was this. A friend of this client in Europe reached out and said that my name had been left on a list to share about this death, and until I responded to the email, they didn't know who I was. And then they said, oh my God, like, you're the person this person was working with, and then shared how their life had been changed by our work. And yeah, that's far more important to me than money. So this rub, right? This rub of, I do believe that it is a tool that can be spread around, encouraging young things to grow, encouraging me to grow, encouraging the business to grow. Yeah. So I feel the paradox in my body. Thank you.
Thank you.
What does money mean to you?
Freedom. Money means freedom to me, and then where, like, I own my own business as well. I don't have a boss. Excuse me. And like, once you work for yourself and you don't, like, once, the buck stops with you, it's so hard to go back. So I have an online business, so it means freedom and then time. I get to pursue whatever I want to do. And then when I need to work, I have my phone. So it's freedom of movement. Yeah, and then options. Yeah, so it's freedom, and I guess options would be more freedom to choose what to do with it. Invest it, spend it, save it, hold it, piss it away. Option to piss it away. So yeah. Yeah, I want to look at it as a utility.
Yeah.
Same thing as water, power. Okay.
So
we
now
had
that
this.
the audience can see our very different feelings towards it,
Yeah.
that was actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the feelings that were in the car when we're
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So we had this open-hearted conversation. We went home. Fast forward to Monday morning, and also this needs to be noted. Monday morning was your day one of like heavy menstruation. Yeah. So it was in the morning, and you asked me when we were getting up, like, can I continue to sleep in? And it weirded me out because I was like, yeah, of course you can. So I go downstairs. Mondays are my heaviest work day. And I go downstairs to start my routine, and the baby comes down and goes like, hey, I missed the bus. Can you take me to school? And immediately my mind went to, I was like, oh, did Lauren want me just to take the baby to school, and she wasn't comfortable actually sharing that? And then I went from provider mode to now caretaker mode in my mind, which is it's a learned pattern that I have learned throughout my life as a boy, with my mother being raised by a single mother who was bipolar, and then being in relationships where I went into caretaker mode and at the expense of kind of my identity. And so it was driving back from, because we had a lovely time. We always have a good time, me and dropping the baby off at middle school. And so driving back, I was battling these feelings of she's not sharing her truth. I now have to do it all by myself. I'm not included in the plan. And then my routine and my work is not important, or it's like he'll just figure it out. And so I went upstairs to meditate, and I couldn't, because I was battling these feelings of I have to do it all by myself, which is a pattern I'm currently unlearning in my mind. So, and you can feel my energy where, like, I think I came upstairs, and then I even said, like, I really just have to guard. I have to guard my energy right now, and I have to get to work. Because it's also the feeling of being really behind. And I hate that feeling. So I was stressed, and I felt behind. So I worked. Yeah, Monday went by. Monday was fine. No?
The internet router.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so... yeah, I didn't share how I felt in the morning with Lauren because I really wanted it, like, genuinely, honey, I wanted it to move through my body, and I wanted to work it out.
100%. Understood.
Where the feelings of, and even I think it was, you made the bed, and I think, did you make food? Or, yeah, you made food. And I go, of course I'm not doing it all by myself. That's ridiculous. We're like, oh, that's silly.
I had made chili. The reason we were going to the W the day before was because I made this like giant pot of chili.
Exactly.
And yeah, like we had a great evening, and yeah.
Okay, so Monday afternoon, I get home, and the lovely people at Xfinity sent us a Wi-Fi router that's supposed to be faster because Glow Fiber is now here actually competing for business. The fucking thing's not faster, whatever. Anyway, so my precious wife, Lauren, decides to swap out the Wi-Fi to, swap into the new one, but she doesn't finish it, so we don't have Wi-Fi, and then she leaves the house. And so I get home, and it's almost, those feelings get fired up again where it's like, I have to now do this. you pay the Wi-Fi bill. I don't have access to any of the accounts. You know, the numbers on the back of the thing weren't showing up on where to find the fucking Wi-Fi. So I text you. And am I nasty in text or?
No, we have such open energy flow between the two of us that when I could feel it.
And it like literally.
Because it wasn't a like, hey, baby love, what could, did the internet get finished? Is there anything I can do? Or like, hey, is there anything I should know about the internet? It was something like, the internet doesn't work? Or what's the internet unfinished? It was just like a statement. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a 2 or a 3 out of 10 as far as the annoyance scale, but like things start sticking with me. And then I know when little things, I start collecting these little things, it's an issue. And then we do nightly check-ins, and I chose not to share my ouch moment of like, hey, babe, that was an ouch.
Yep.
It was a 3 out of 10, but it was still an ouch, where we're actually working on, I need something for me to be able to share these things that are like, I deem like, yo, chill, like, why are you so sensitive? We're working on boo-boo or something else.
I told Wednesday Us about the boo-boo idea, and she was like, that's great.
Yeah.
She was like, that actually works, because she said, I could see what Trey's saying of it almost feels ridiculous.
It feels ridiculous.
But you're like, but it was a boo-boo. Like, I know I should probably say something because I'm still thinking about it. My God, like you're like psychoanalyzing yourself in your head. Like, yeah, so I'm totally here. Let's say ouches or boo-boos.
Yeah, great. An ouch is over a 3, and then a boo-boo's a 3 and under?
I think it could be whatever in our own bodies.
Got it.
Like,
Great.
if we are hurting, it should be an ouch. I think that one time we had like the verbal miscommunication. Do you remember it happened in our bedroom? And I said, hey, can I share something right now that I would say is an ouch later?
Yeah.
And that was such perfect, because my heart had gone, you hadn't done anything intentional. My heart had just gone, oh.
Do you remember what I said?
Yeah, I was sharing like about some of the global pain in the world right now. And you were like, babe, that has been happening and will happen for all of time.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
I said like, honey, that felt like you're saying my heart shouldn't break for the world. And I'm here on earth to fix that, which has been spoiled. Ow.
Cool.
And I said, I want you to have your more, I love your perspective. I think it is a beautiful balance. Please don't negate my perspective. And you so I was like, that's what felt ouchy. And if I don't say that now, I'm going to feel silly saying it later, because I'm going to be like, why did I just share it in the moment? And I was so proud of myself. Like, look at me sharing like a grown up. But that was an ouch. That felt ouchy in my heart. Got it. Boo-boo, I think, is like a thing in health that maybe we might roll our eyes at. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was an inconvenience and a boo-boo, but I chose not to share it. Yeah. So instead of me the reason we do a nightly check-in is so I don't bottle, which I have a tendency to collect these ouches and these boo-boos, and then it comes out. So come to Tuesday. Tuesday is a big day for my beautiful wife. She goes downtown of our little city. She rented out like a recording space because she's making content for another website. So this is important. She's renting space. All the equipment's going. Holland's doing her thing. It's important for what they're doing. Let's see. Tuesday was... the water filter got installed. So what the fuck? Anyway, long story short, I come upstairs to go poop, and there is no toilet paper while I poop. There's no toilet paper in the thing. Lauren has taken all of the toilet paper and used it for herself because she has heavy flow. It's now day 2 of menstruation. So in my fucking infinite wisdom, I decide to send her a video with pain on my face. It wasn't a funny video. It was like, babe, can you replace the toilet paper? Because now I have to do the duck walk all the way downstairs, wipe my ass, come upstairs, and take a shower because there's shit all over my butt. Do I say all that? No, I don't. I'm thinking all that, and I'm pissed. So in my infinite wisdom of her day 2 menstruating, of her doing really important work, I decide to send her essentially a fuck you video. Do I say fuck you? No, I don't talk to my wife that way. Never when the cameras are rolling. But I there's pain on my face. It's not a funny video. It's a video of like, babe, can you, like, in what's going on in my mind is I have to do it all by myself. And what's also going on in my mind is one of my most important things in the world is to set you up for success. Just don't set me up to fail. That's what's going on in my mind. And it's a pattern that I know really fucking well. I'm not interested in repeating that pattern. That is not the woman you are. And that's not the person I've married. And I'm not saying that out of delusion. I'm saying that out of truth. You set me up for success constantly, but I'm highlighting the two things that you've done that are truly under 3 out of 10s. They're truly boo-boos. They're not ouches. They're like, come on. But whatever. You're also busy. And I do a bunch of boo-boos and ouches too. I have some disgusting habits, people. It has to do with toenails and fingernails and blowing snot rockets in the shower. It's disgusting. I'm a terrible man. Getting off track. So as soon as I sent that video to you, I go, oh my God, why did I just do that? So I think I shower to get
the shit off your ass.
Shit off my ass. And then I want to say, I go, I need to meditate. Because Monday I didn't. And then Tuesday I prioritized all this stuff. I went to technology in the morning and I didn't prioritize my meditation. I went to looking at the NFL transaction list. So I sat down, and part of my meditation is, what self-limiting beliefs are you telling yourself? And what do you want to kind of bring out? And that's where it was like, I'm definitely going down this old path of it's all on me. So I get out of the house, I drive straight to you. I apologize. Luckily, you weren't filming at that moment. You guys were transitioning. You guys were moving camera stuff out of the place. But I am deeply sorry that kind of I chose to almost be passive aggressive or bottle or let it come out. A, at an inopportune time. And then B, I need to own that I'm not using the tools that I have. I'm way too fucking toolsy to be pulling this rookie bullshit. I apologize. And I know it's not all on me.
Apology accepted. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's what I came out and said, because I received the video. Everything was on silent. All the volumes were down, but Holland was doing some video focusing and doing some tests and stuff. So I was just sitting on my mark, and even when my phone's on silent, texts from you and the baby and Holland still come through, and you knew what we were doing, so I assumed this was an important video
Or something funny.
or something funny,
Or encouraging.
that you would leave later. And then I even saw that you were in the bathroom, and I literally thought it was going to be a funny video, a silly one, and a thank God there was I don't know, just something silly. And I've told you later that because that is the man I know you to be. These instances are few and far between, and as they should be, right? We say all the time, sacrifice for the other partner, right? Partnership, neither of us believe, should be hard. Does it refine? Yes. Does it show us things in ourselves and reveal things in ourselves that wouldn't be revealed out in the real world? Would that be so much easier? Lighter?
Are there hard moments? Yes. It can't be hard can't be the baseline.
It shouldn't be, because
what does it need to 5-10% of
right,
the time?
ooh, we should do some little equation that'd be fun, but I don't want to get off my point. So that is not, it's not what I expected to see. And then what was so hard about getting that video then is that then I didn't listen to it with the sound on, and I'm glad I didn't, but it was just here in my head. because it's one of my biggest fears in the world is to fail you.
Yeah.
And I have this weird trauma trigger with growing up in the world that told me I couldn't be a businesswoman and a good partner and wife and mother, that those two things could not coincide. And my greatest calling was to be a wife and mother. And so right in the back of my mind, it's like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You can't do this. Look at you. Look at all these things that you're doing that are failure. And so I was able to put it aside. And I've told you since as well that for the first time, I was also able to think, that is not mine to handle. Mm-hmm. That was frankly childish, not childlike. Childlike is delicious. That was childish. I know him.
My behavior.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know him to be a man that is going to catch that. And sure enough, I don't know if it was before you got in the shower or after you sent a text that was like, don't watch that.
I didn't say that. I just said, hey, I really apologize for that. I didn't tell you not to watch it.
I think you said literally.
Let's go to the
reference, because it was not long ago. That's my bad. I got frustrated. I regret sending. Yeah, you didn't say not to watch it.
I'll tell you in the future not to watch things, though.
Sure.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
No, like controlling.
Controlling.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say you tried to unsend it?
No, I don't think you can. I don't think there's
Okay.
an option. I would have, but you read it immediately, and then that's devastating. Where it just says read. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I got so angry at self. Mm-hmm. The angriest I was itself.
Mm-hmm. And I know that to be too. And I mean, frankly, this is how predictable you are as well. I knew that you would show up at the location.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Because you are that kind of man. I knew that even if you hadn't gotten it sorted out, you don't treat me like that. And if you do, you take accountability immediately. And you did. And you didn't have it all sorted out yet, but you had your meditation by that time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you were not okay with your behavior. And what I really found interesting in my body is that, I walked out in my power, hurt, bleeding, just like in a raw place, but said, we have tools now.
Yes, what you said. Like you reaffirmed we have too many tools for this.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you. You're right.
Yeah.
My bad.
I was like, it's not okay. We have tools now, and I'll see you later. Right? Like I'm not.
Because you had to continue to work.
I
you had
had
to be
more
in your
work to
masculine
do.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. And that felt really good. That felt really good I had known you were in a space. I even on my way to my hike where I had left the internet unfinished.
This was Monday.
Monday. I had even sent a video message to some friends in Marco Polo and said, Trey's working through something, not quite sure what it is, but wow, is it neat to be in a space in our relationship where he has his coach, his therapist. This is not mine to figure out, right? This is his. And I was just kind of bragging on the place that we're in our partnership where there's dysregulation. There is. I could feel it. I knew it was there. And I don't know. I was like, I don't know what it's about. And it's not mine to try to figure out. I don't need to play sleuth. I don't need to play Nancy Drew right now. Yeah. That will make it worse.
Tuesday evening,
Tuesday afternoon, I came home from filming and you should have been golfing and your car was in the front of the house.
That's right. I went on a walk. I talked to my best friend, N, and it was the perfect time because I got to share what a horse's ass I had been and these limiting beliefs. And then we bounced things off of each other, and then we had a lot of fun laughing. Then I went to our local market because we connected. You asked me where I was, and it was the perfect timing. And I called you. I was like, babe, can I get some drinks? And we can go do a little day drinking at one of our favorite outdoor spots.
And talk. Let's be clear. You weren't like, let's go escape this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I needed a fucking drink. What does that say? Not needed, but I was like, oh, there's alcohol there.
Yeah. I think, substances can be medicine or poison.
Yeah.
And so if a substance, I am not here, please hear me, everyone, to support any form of numbing, but a substance can take the nervous system from high alert to a little calmer.
That's what I needed.
And when used appropriately, and substances are so hard. So I just want to it worked for us in the moment. It is not going to work for everybody.
True.
That is not, because alcohol can be a depressant too.
Or
it can make it
disassociant,
worse.
too.
Exactly. But in this moment, I said, hey, are you here? Because I assumed you would have been gone.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I knew where you were headed, because when you came by the filming studio, you were in golf apparel. But I knew in my body that you wouldn't be able to do that. I knew I would see your car at home, because you repair things. You are a man who repairs things. And I knew that that is how out of sync we were, there needed to be some conversations. So my plan had been to rest and nap, because again, heavy menstruation, and I had book club that evening till 9 p.m. And so I knew I needed a rest in between, but I knew I was not going to be able to rest until we had made the flow, like restored flow between us. It was not going to work. So a walk sounded delicious. It was so beautiful outside, and yeah, just sharing a drink and really talking through what had gone on. But mind you, this was Tuesday, and the hard talk in the car had happened Sunday afternoon. Mm-hmm. This was not a long period of time, which is really neat. I don't want to celebrate us too quickly, but that is not that long.
Yeah. Okay. So timeline, Tuesday night, you had your book club. Mm-hmm. Can we flash forward to Wednesday morning? In my body, I was like, okay, I really just want to give Lauren space. And then it was right before, it was around 10 o'clock Wednesday morning.
Can we rewind really fast?
Yeah.
We had a great talk on Tuesday, and I felt really sore. And I think this is a really necessary part of this conversation.
Physically or mentally sore?
Wounded. I want everyone to have the permission, when they have been ouched in a partnership, to be sore for a second.
Okay.
Thank you for giving me the space and the time to say those, criticisms thrown at me, those hurt. Mm-hmm. That hurt, that we took an old path, that sent, passive aggressiveness at my body on a big day of filming when I was menstruating, ow. And you were really good about that. I said, I understand. Thank you for also repairing. And now I am just poured out. I'm just blah, and really sad. And it was really tender. So that's what you woke up to on Wednesday morning, I think, is just me in a real place of tenderness.
Yeah. I felt like you just needed your space. So I was we kind of gave space, and then it was 10:30. I had I'm fixing my shoulder and my hip, so I had a massage scheduled for 11 o'clock, and I just thought, I think you need some healing. Mm-hmm. I went upstairs and I said, would you be interested in this? Taking my massage spot to go with our healer. Mm. And the reaction at first was, are you going to use this against me? That's what you said to me. Mm-hmm. Is this some type of now I'm inconvenienced? Now I've sacrificed more. Mm-hmm. And so, I just wanted to reaffirm, I was no, this is completely up to you. Mm-hmm. I want to go do other things and not do this. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go. Mm-hmm. And I think you really need it. And I shared something that may have been hurtful, where I said, I'm concerned for you right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did you say that?
I saw you burnt out on all ends, physically, mentally, just kind of burnt out. And it's not mine to fix, but I can, what do I do? See in? Mm-hmm. I can project in. Mm-hmm. And I thought that would be kind of a wonderful gift if you wanted to accept it. And if not, that's okay too.
Mm-hmm. It was so rich because, I was very leery that it was another form of caretaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in some way in your body going to be look at this other thing I did for her, and used against me somewhere. So I really needed to sit with it. And you said, sure, like, absolutely take some time to think about it. I was also dealing with the universe was showing me something. My whole day was getting rearranged, like in real time. I was supposed to have had a 2-hour meeting that morning that got moved. I was supposed to have another 1-hour meeting that afternoon that got moved. I was
You
supposed
shared
to
that
have
with me. And you had your
everything was
schedule opened
moving
up so
around.
you could do this. That's
All
right. You shared
I
that with me.
had left was an intake at 1:30, which always happens when the universe is like, hello, attend to your emotional state, your well-being. Because I deeply believe that if I'm not in a good place, I'm not in a great place to be serving other people. It is my right and responsibility.
Correct.
And I try really hard to do a good job at that. So I thought it was really interesting that this was happening while you're trying to give me a gift. So once I had cleared that away, then this worry that it would be another form of caretaking that then you would resent. Then you said, I'm concerned about you, which I don't think you have ever uttered those words in your life before.
No.
And that was the tendency or the thing that rose up in my body wanted to be defensiveness.
It was that you got defensive.
I was like, who's he? What? Who do you think you are, sir?
Just your husband.
And then I
Sit
thought,
next to you every night.
okay, hold up. What if he is trying to say, and I don't know what you were trying to say, but hey, I am perceiving that you are spent, you are poured out. And how about instead of trying to fix it or becoming critical of you and these balls that you're dropping, what if instead I offer support? What if instead I say, I see you. Can I support you?
Fuck. I think we forgot to share Tuesday, your filming session. It all had to be scrapped because the audio wasn't correct. We shared it at the beginning of the podcast, but we need to remember that Tuesday, all of your work, your 3 hours, your 4 hours of rented space work, setting up, breaking down, what had to be thrown away because the audio wasn't usable. That's right.
On top of
menstruation, on top of your husband being a motherfucker, on top of these things, on top of feelings of failing in business, failing in partnership, feelings of not being worthy enough when it comes to the monetary equivalent. Yeah, fuck. That was Wednesday too. And that's why I was concerned. And I won't ever use that word. If you don't like that word, it does sounds almost like fucking like a royal family. Like, I'm concerned where Kate is.
I am concerned.
We are concerned where Kate is. It's your 9/11, honey.
It is. Yeah, so I heard that phrase and I thought in my head, like, I'm concerned about me too. And I thought, okay, wheel of consent here. Betty Martin, is it just as difficult to live with a person who cannot receive it as it is to live with a person who cannot give? What if, for a second, Lauren, you consider what it would be like to accept a gift of service and you go heal your body a bit with some transactional service? And I want everyone to listen carefully. When we pay someone to give us a gift, we are getting exactly what we've asked for. It's why it's so good to practice that form of service and accepting, because it's a perfect example of the 3-minute game. Will you give me a massage? Yes, I will, for this amount of money. And then you can lay on the table and they ask you about pressure. You can change the pressure. It's beautiful. It is the 3-minute game. When partners have gone through some acts of service that weren't really acts of service because they weren't requested in the first place, right? Where somebody is martyring. That's the outside of service in our favorite wheel of consent. They can become gun shy of, I don't want to ask for anything. Mm-hmm. Because what if it's not a true gift? What if you're martyring again? So I went inside and I was like, okay, what if we try to accept Trey's gift? We listen to him. We accept him at his word. Mm. And then what could happen if you just go lay on a table and just cry for a little bit?
Yeah.
And this person is paid to do this. You're not a burden to them. You literally can have an hour to just be. What could happen? And I was like, I don't know. And that's one of the things I'm leaning into these days of, I don't know the outcome. Well, then it might be fun. That might be curious. So yeah, I said yes.
What was the rest of your Wednesday like? Today's Friday.
This is the Wednesday. Intake was great. I was just grounded and present and fine. The massage was good. It was really good. It was a beautiful moment to just come back to my body. I just wept. I wept over the lost footage. I wept over the ways you had hurt me and let myself grieve for being hurt. I wept over feeling like a failure, feeling like not enough, feeling like nothing I ever do is enough, which is my old script that I go to. Nothing I ever do will be enough. And it's not anything that anybody tells me. Those are old patterns. Let all that go. Decided to feed my body really well. Got some Chick-fil-A. What else? The rest of Wednesday. Oh, and then finally, I got to go move my body. I got some exercise. And with a menstrual cycle, I truly believe that moving like day 3 into day 4, but mostly like day 4 or 5, the body wants to reconnect with movement and nature. And I was feeling that pull. Then I got to, after my workout, to go spend time with Wednesday S. Again, that concept of like having the people in your life who can really call you to account. And she does. She calls me my bullshit. Got to tell her the story, got to laugh about your passive aggressive video. And I think moving it through like that starts to put things in the bigger puzzle, in the grand scheme. Yeah, that was good. And then Thursday, I had to get back up on the horse and record again. And
Thursday morning, I think in the morning while the baby was getting ready, I come upstairs. I give you a kiss. I go, hey, just checking in. Like, how's the baby getting to school?
Yeah. And you were like, that feels like a much better way of doing things.
That feels like an adult way of doing things. So, yeah, she walked herself up to the bus.
Yeah.
It was lovely. Let's see. Oh, I need to celebrate that the feedback when you got with Wednesday S, when you went to dinner, was you were saying, you were showing the video. Did you show the video to her, or you just told the story? Where the story where you told me, it's like, yeah, what the fuck? We both had like, what the fuck is this moments. I celebrate that, babe. Because that's you accessing the what the fuck versus it's my fault. I encourage you to do pushback. Because if I need to push back, trust me, I'm real good at pushing back.
Yeah.
So if I need to go, no. But
you will.
in this situation, bravo.
Thank you.
Ongoing, like, what is this bullshit?
Yeah.
Look at this bullshit. So good for you.
Thanks. I do feel that I stayed in my agency much more. It was just taking so much effort to stay in my agency because of all the other extenuating circumstance.
Yeah, and then there's also a fine line between deflecting,
Yeah.
which is not good, it's not healthy,
No.
versus like, look at this shit.
Yeah.
That's what I should have done with the toilet paper and the Wi-Fi. More of like, ugh, look at this shit. But in a fun, kind of playful way, because those are boo-boos. And you acknowledge that.
100.
Or
We
it's not
have
nonsense.
all, you and I have talked about this since, we have all lived in a home where someone forgot to replace the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Everybody should tease lovingly about this, right? Like, it's not cool to be stuck in the bathroom with no toilet paper. Have we all had it happen? Yes. Yeah. Have we all done the yell through the house or the waddle through the house? We have, right? And it's not cool. I don't think it's a thing that people need to be made to feel like shit about themselves about. But there should be accountability for that. I should have had an opportunity to be like, babe, my bad, my goodness. But no, with Wednesday S, I was like joking about like, am I the toilet paper czar? Like, am I the supreme controller? Like, did nobody else see that the toilet paper was going down? Is it my responsibility? Because usually our toilet paper holder can hold like 4 rolls and then the weight on top. It's not like that just happened overnight. It was like progressively getting lower and lower. I think it's common courtesy if you use the last such and such to replace it. I do.
You know what? I actually agree. I agree with that as well.
And we all were watching it go down in level.
Sure.
We all use these bathrooms. And so I did find myself in a much healthier place to even see that. Like, it was an eye roll.
Good.
It just was coming on top of like all these things.
When did we feel that it was truly moved through and we could get back to being playful and happy and la 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 la? Because Thursday we both worked.
Yeah.
Thursday evening I had my hour-long session with my therapist, and I bounced all of this off of her, and it was so wonderful. And I got these questions and these tools, and we really talked it out about these old patterns.
Which, can we talk for a second about the beauty of having a person in your corner over an amount of time? Because you have a standing relationship, a trustful container built now. Yeah. She knows your shit. She also knows your joy. She also knows your pleasure. She also knows your shadows. She knows the patterns that you go to. So, y'all, this is why working with coaches, educators, therapists over an expanse of time is so great. I think sometimes we're like, oh, I don't even know why I went to therapy today. Like, all I did is tell some stories.
I'm sure sometimes it can feel that way, too.
It does.
Or it just fucking stinks.
And then all of a sudden, 4 months later, you're like, wow, it's really nice that you knew the story from a couple months ago, because guess what just happened? It's really nice you know my behaviors. This happened with, remember how I was seeing a client at 5:30 while you were still in the...
Yes.
Yeah. This client and I had one of those moments yesterday. All of these things have happened in the past month since we'd seen each other. And it was so nice that we've been working together for months and months and months and months and months, because we were able to just address the thing that we've known as like themes. And I just thought, it's so beautiful.
You asked me an impactful question. You said, when you see your therapist come on the screen on Zoom, like, do you feel like you're in trouble? Do you feel like you need to confess? And I go, no, it's a relief, because we get to kind of play and unwind bullshit. If you're hearing my fucking voice right now, and the first thing that you feel, say if you're talking to somebody, is I need to, like, I'm in trouble, or this is going to be like a dressing down, I think you got to end that.
Yeah.
I feel the opposite. I don't want anybody to fucking feel that way.
No.
Yeah, this isn't a shameful thing. This is the opposite of shame. This is how to get out of shame. We've had to work on my shame. Okay, so Thursday evening we went out.
Yeah, because your original question to me that I sidetracked us on was, when did we finally start to feel the flow of energy, feel like we could play and everything? Yeah, you asked me if I wanted to go out on a date. You said, hey, when are you done with your work day? Because usually Thursdays and Fridays are my late night work days. And I think I said, it was around 7. I said, I'm sending a final email and then I'm done. And you said, yeah, do you want to walk to have a little mini date? And what made you say that? Why'd you want to do that?
I thought it'd just be really fun. It's so pretty outside. We just hit daylight savings. It's spring in our city, so it's warm. And then let's, get our buzz on too.
Yeah, I think that...
I took a half Eddie. I asked permission. I was like, honey, can I take a half edible? She's like, yeah.
I think that's when it really started to come back to me. And I don't know if I told you this or not, knowing that you have someone else in your corner, knowing that it's not my job, is the greatest gift you could ever give me. I think if we have faithful listeners to this podcast, they'll remember back when, November-ish time, and I was like, I can't be the one who leads relationship repair solely on my own, simply because of my credentialing.
It's not your job to fix.
Can't do that.
Yeah. I don't want you do that all day for work. That's
And it would just be an unhealthy dynamic in our relationship. And I don't care to do that.
Job.
I know that I have tools, but I was feeling as though if I didn't have the tool, there was something wrong with me, that I couldn't put our relationship back together.
You've had to work through that.
Yeah. And so the fact that you are working with someone who I respect, like, is one of the most amazing people in the world too, is phenomenal, because I can't wait to hear the things you've learned.
Yeah.
The tools, the questions she wants you to ask me. I cannot wait. And it is like this weight comes off my shoulder. So I was so excited. I was so excited because we needed to continue to repair. It is a process. It's a process. And so the walk is really good. I think we talked about my day first, and then I gave you permission to share always as much or as little about your session as you want to. That is your private space. And yeah, you shared some amazing things y'all talked about. We just started to connect. I think that was when it fully came through my body. And we were also able to talk about my client that passed away. I mean, it was, life continues to happen. I think what I found so beautiful about this week, it literally has not even been 7 days since all of this. This was a full week. Is that all of these little interrelational things were happening while the week was going on around us. There were still factors affecting you and I as human beings too. The water filter was getting put in. You got a shed put in the backyard, so your energy was being drained. The internet went out, right? Like there were factors at play, which everyone encounters all the time. It does make it difficult to find space and time to get to like the meaty pieces of relationship.
As long as it's not avoided.
Right.
As long as getting to the meaty pieces, and the meaty also, another way of saying that is the harder things to talk about.
That you don't really want to talk about.
But it's like, it has to be addressed quickly.
Yes.
I think it has to, right? It can't just fucking sit there. Or maybe the worst thing is like, oh, maybe it'll go away. Yeah. Fuck. Okay. All right. Friday morning, which is this morning. It's what, noon? It's 11:30 East Coast.
Yeah.
Friday morning. How was this morning for you, honey?
So, do you want me to talk about the principle first or the story first?
Go.
So my kid overslept again. Middle schoolers, y'all. And so they came down and said, like, hey, can you drive me to school? We had a whole conversation about how you're taking from mommy's time because you didn't, yada, yada. But it's so hard, y'all, because she's really the most awesome person in the world. And so the drives to school are
They're fun.
So fun
They're
and wonderful.
They're objectively fun. I think she puts it on. She lays it on thick, too.
And so I'm like...
She's like, I'm going to be pleasant in hell and make these people laugh.
And laugh and full of, like, nuanced conversations that you're always, like, really glad you had afterwards.
Does she ask really good questions
Such
on the way?
Good questions.
She's doing it on purpose. I'm on to her shit.
God, I love it. She's a morning person. It's so funny. So, like, she is firing. And, this morning... Anyway, so I always try to, like... have some consensual conversation. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I can't wait to drive you to school. I love driving you to school.
Get the fuck out of here.
So drive her to school, but coming back or to the bus stop. I just dropped her off at a further along bus stop to hang with a friend. And thought I was coming home to like finish my morning pages and then get ready for the gym. And then instead, as I'm driving home, I'm kind of reflecting. I don't have my phone, which is lovely because I don't do phone time in the morning. So I'm just reflecting on our amazing 4 days. I really view them as amazing. Our open-hearted conversation last night, how good it felt to reconnect with you, hear about your therapy. I'm just like thinking about all of the things in my body that feel so loved and secure and safe. And then driving home, I am almost home and I see this stunning woman jogging with her dog, like stunning woman. And part of the things, I think people know I do this, but instead of channeling, wow, that woman's beautiful, I should be working harder, I wish I was as beautiful as her, oh, I hate her for being so beautiful, these things that patriarchy has made us all think it's like scarcity of like, oh, well, she could out-attract me, she could win a man over me. I do this thing where instead I'm like, ooh, I wonder what her story is. And so instead I try to go into this like imaginative, sexy place in my head. And I was like, what if instead this woman was single, my sexy ass husband was single, and what if she was to text him and then I become her in my body and say like, hey, I'm finishing up a run. Are you up? Yes. How would you feel about me coming by and you taking off my running clothes and me fucking you? I have a meeting at 9, but I could really, really use an orgasm. So this gets in my head. I do know why, so I'm trying not to overanalyze right now. And so I come home. It's amazing how quickly I can get in the house. And I'm like, please let him still be asleep. Please let him still be asleep. Oh, because Trey had a fun time last night. Yeah, he took half an edible.
I had too much fun.
And drank some kombuchas. Whoa.
A lot of kombuchas.
But that like puts my little man out. So like And he didn't have his breathe right strips.
Yeah, I didn't have my nasal strips.
So
and
usually he's up with me at like
slept
6
like
something,
shit.
but he's still, mind you, this is 7:20 in the morning. So this is not like
Okay.
late yet.
Yeah.
And I knew I didn't need to leave for the gym until like 8:15. So
Can I tell the rest of it?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm asleep in the room, and like she comes in with a cup of coffee, and that's always so sweet. And I just go, "Oh, babe, I'm gonna try to like keep sleeping to get like back some recovery." And she goes, "Oh, you are? I'm gonna set this coffee right here. I was actually hoping to come up and fuck you." And I go, and I just wrapped my arms around. I was like, I feel pretty up.
I don't
all
need
of a
to
sudden.
sleep anymore.
You don't throw that back. So yeah, she just, honey, your clothes were off so quickly.
So quickly.
I don't know how you did that. And then you're on top of me, and we're just rubbing on each other. And then you decided to tell me this story, and we had 10 to 15 minutes of some of the best sex we'll ever have this morning. It was fucking great. And so I think we solved it, at least this one. Until the next time, friends.
What I was telling Trey is that research shows that people in female bodies especially crave adventure and risk. We love it. We love sexy stories. We love all these things.
And people in male bodies crave getting coffee and fucked without having to work for it.
That was not my point. My point was, and the research shows that only comes when they feel safe and secure. So, if you want sex like that, work on the safety and security of your relationship, because that wouldn't have been happening. That erotic, imaginative story that my body felt free to play with would not have happened if I had continued to be criticized all week and continued to not know if something was going to be thrown back in my face or if I was making you upset about this, that, and the other thing. Are you kidding me? That can't blossom and grow. But when you did the work to attune to old pattern, don't want to do that anymore. Okay, utilize my tools, go to my coach, talk with my therapist, talk to my babe, take accountability for my actions, apologize for my actions. We're repairing. I'm feeling safe. I'm feeling seen. I'm feeling validated. You cheered for me, babe. Way to stay in your agency. Way to not go to victimhood. Way to go. Then I get to be me. I get to be that woman who is salacious and sexy and craves adventure and risk and crazy erotic stories. It's there. I think it's there in all of us. We just haven't found the safety and security in our own selves first. Must start there. And then in our own partnerships. So please don't beat yourself up if you're not having crazy little morning rendezvous like that one when the presence of safety and security is not there in your partnership. That must be attuned to first. Don't be whining and complaining that your bae doesn't come crawl in your bed and strip her clothes off and tell you nasty stories about, all the things. Thanks for coming to this episode of the Partnership Podcast. We didn't have to stop recording one time. How do you feel about that?
Fucking, it's amazing.
It's amazing. And you know what's funny, y'all, is that you might remember me saying I can usually see his body language change. I could see it change, but not in the same way. Usually he's like just on edge because the second timer's about to go off. So yay! Remember, these are opinions and our own lived experiences. We encourage you to take what you like, leave the rest. You have a right to informed decision-making and self-determination. If you want to work on things like this, go ahead and go to sexedforyou.com/free consult. You can request a consult with me, or I can point you to someone who would be better suited for you. Hope you have an incredible rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.